Ah, 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 so, ah, 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 oh.
I shouldn't be laughing because we're going to be talking to the man himself from Dublin, is Henry McKean. But let me introduce you as well to our journalists here in the studio. Daisy Waugh, who is with the Sunday Times and the author of I Don't Know Why She Bothers, Guilt-Free Motherhood for Thoroughly Modern Women. And also Rebecca Schiller, who is a doula here in the UK and is 6.5 months pregnant with her second baby. Thank you all very much for joining us. We need to start with you, Henry. Why did you do it?
Hi, hello. I suppose I did it because I wanted to find out how women everywhere, how much pain they're in, what sort of pain do they go through when it comes to childbirth, because at the end of the day I am a man and I can't actually have a baby. Even at the end they gave me a little doll and I gave birth to baby David, but I suppose we wanted just to level the playing field and find out how much actual pain women go through, and I can tell you it's absolute agony.
I have to say, Henry, we scoffed a little bit that you only managed 2 hours and 15 minutes. Was it that bad?
You scoffed a little bit. It was awful. It was really, really, really hard. It was like lots of little Lego men, hundreds of Lego men, lots of electric toothbrushes, mobile phones, all going off in your stomach at the same time. It was so sore, and I've got so much more respect for women everywhere because I kind of understand them a bit better.
What do you think of it, Daisy?
Number one, why didn't you just ask for an epidural? Number two, the question everybody wants to know is which hurts more, childbirth or being kicked in the, what's the polite word? Testicles.
There isn't one, yes. Can you answer that for us, Henry?
I would say that's a really good question. Getting kicked in the testicles, is it possible to compare the two? To be honest with you, it's a different kind of pain. I felt winded, but at the same time, I felt like that there was an alien inside my stomach. So a different type of pain, a little bit like being winded by being kicked, maybe a football kick down there. But the pain was huge because the electrodes were attached just above my private parts, and I had major muscle strain in that area for days afterwards. To be honest with you, I'm still in pain right now.
He's not really answering that question. Do you think men's... yeah, I think that all women would probably say that men's pain threshold isn't as high. But Rebecca, you've got a slightly different experience of this. I mean, we often talk about the pain of childbirth, but some women have a different experience, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, when I had my first baby, I'm someone that shies away from the dentist. I'm terrified of needles, but I found labour to be not too bad, actually. I quite enjoyed it, and I found the things that I had around me, being at home, having really good support, and midwives I'd got to know, really, really important during my birth. I'm not sure, Henry, that you have actually experienced what it's like for a woman to labour. I felt a bit sorry for you, actually, during parts of that video, because I think what Henry seems to be experiencing is what you know, unfortunately some women actually experience during labour, which is a very lack of support, not having somebody there to help them through the contractions. And, you know, we've got increasingly lots of women having induced labours where their bodies are having all these contractions, but they haven't got the benefits of the kind of natural cocktail of hormones that helps us through labour. So Henry might have had actually a raw deal for those part of those 2 hours.
Go, Daisy, the epidural is the answer.
Epidural is always the answer. In fact, I did have one that was, I had a totally pain-free delivery because I had an epidural and something called a bring it on fast, or what are they called, induction.
Were you made to feel...
And it was joyful.
Were you made to feel, Daisy, at any point, though, guilty about making those choices?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? And gradually I got more and more sort of stubborn and less guilty about it. But initially, you know, the bravery it takes to say, listen, I don't want anything natural. I don't want to get in a bathtub. I just want it over, because I'm not really interested in the process. I just want the baby, you know. So, no, the first one, I had a water birth. I had the beginnings of a water birth, and then finally got the courage to say, listen, I just, it doesn't make me a bad mother. I just don't, you know, if I have a headache, I take an aspirin. If I have a pain in my stomach, I take a, well, if I'm giving birth, I have an epidural, unless I'm slightly mad.
Henry, are you surprised by the incredible reaction to your story from right across the world? I saw it was on New Zealand television even.
Oh, absolutely, and I know you're a Kiwi, and the reaction has been huge around the globe. People are coming up to me in the street here in Dublin, and they're saying, how's the baby, how's baby David? Everywhere I go, online, the reaction's just been absolutely huge, to be honest. We're not sure exactly how many hits, but we're looking at well over 100,000. It's just turned into a big viral hit. And to be honest with you, I think people can really relate to it because men can't have babies and we can't understand what goes on in women's heads, but I think I'm that much closer to understanding. And a lot of ladies are quite upset with me and they're saying, you don't understand pain, you haven't got a clue, I was in labour for 24 hours or even longer, you only managed 2 hours 15 minutes. But I suppose we were having a little bit of fun and we were just trying to respect ladies more. And to be honest with you, I'm finding it easier to chat up ladies, to go up to a pretty girl or any type of girl and say hello. It's really just changed things for me completely. I get you guys sitting there in the studio. I understand you. I know what's going through your heads. I do.
Come on, Daisy.
I'm with you.
Now, Henry, you have to be quiet because we're a little bit incredulous that you're using this as a chat-up line. Can you imagine, Daisy?
I cannot imagine. If somebody said to me, lady, I feel your pain because I've been in a peculiar machine in the room and went, I might call the police, actually.
and I think there are a lot more useful things you could probably be doing should you be in the position of supporting somebody through a birth.
Yes.
Can I ask
to prepare yourself.
Can I ask you about that, Rebecca, because you're from Doula UK. Now, to explain to people, a doula is generally a woman. It can be a man who supports a woman through childbirth. Shouldn't that be the role of the father in this situation? Though, like, isn't some of the useful information that could come out of this is Henry telling men how difficult it is, so perhaps they can be a little more supportive?
Absolutely, and you know, a doula's role is very much to work alongside a partner, a father or a partner if there is one, and there's good evidence to show that the support of a doula in addition to a partner has quite dramatic effects on things like the caesarean section rate and on whether women need to have an epidural or any other kind of pain relief, as well as actually shortening the duration of labour. But part of my job is to work with the partners beforehand and help them to feel confident in what they can actually do. Now, I'm not sure that terrifying them into thinking it's got to be agonisingly painful is that helpful. I think giving them some practical tips on what they can do and making sure they understand how a woman's body actually works during labour and birth, so they can avoid doing the things that are bound to distract and annoy her and do the things that are going to be really supportive and helpful, and also make sure that the caregivers around her are able to provide that focused, dedicated attention.
What role do you see for men in the labour room, Daisy?
That's a very good question because I'm struggling to see one at all. I mean, I think a little bit of, you know, poor old you and go and get some nice cup of tea or something afterwards. And actually,
and I'll buy you a nice present when the baby's born.
If anyone's got any money left after that. But I think it's quite you know, if you're feeling nervous about saying I'm not a bad mother, I just want to have painkillers, then maybe they can fight your corner for you. And I really do think it's difficult for women to say, listen, we all know and even he knows now that it's incredibly painful. And I'd prefer to have painkillers. And I think there should be. It would be wonderful if there was less stigma attached to that. It's not a reflection of you as a mother. It's just a reflection of you having a fairly practical approach to medicine, in my opinion.
I agree. There should be, you know, and I've supported women for whom an epidural has been absolutely a godsend and has been a really positive birth experience. There is some good evidence, though, that satisfaction with your labour is not related to how much pain relief you have. All the studies show that if pain relief itself does not mean you had a good perception of labour. That good perception of labour tends to be related to how you felt you were cared for. And I think that's where we've got to put importance, as well as making sure women have all the options, pain relief options
Henry,
available.
we need to wrap this up, but I mean, are you surprised, firstly, that what you've been through is now prompting this kind of discussion here in the studio in London? If you could answer that.
Absolutely.
And also, could you finally just leave us with one of your chat-up lines, please? Very curious to know.
I actually think, ladies there, to be honest with you, you are lucky because you have natural hormones that kick in when you have a baby. I don't have any of those natural hormones. The only thing that I had was adrenaline, and you could say maybe a pat of fat on my belly, and that was about it. But it was so sore, and to be honest with you, I just have so much more respect. You want me to chat you up now? You want me to say around the world, to people across the world, use some sort of chat up line? I'm not sure if I can do that. I suppose my advice to men everywhere is, men, I'm sorry, we are useless. We're absolutely useless. All we can do is hunt. And when it comes to actually being there beside your partner, don't get condescending, just listen. You can't help. I had O'Connor there with me. I had a birthing partner. I had a girl from a bookies who ended up sponsoring it, Ladbrokes, and they actually, she was useless. She couldn't help me at all. I actually swore at her and told her where to go, because basically the only person who can help you through childbirth isn't the doctors, isn't the midwives, it's you, it's the mum, because you have to push out the baby like my mother. She pushed 4 boys out, and it's up to you, it's up to the mum, it's down to you. So all respect to all of you.
Okay, Henry, our bit of advice for you as well, though, is we think you need to change your pyjama pants, because those flowery ones, now that you've gone viral,
I have them here if you want me to show them to you. They're actually from a shop in Amsterdam. They're going to be fashionable around the globe. This time next year, every bloke will be wearing them.